And what I want to share with the audience here this morning is that no one came to us and said, you need to create an academic transformation plan. No one said that we needed to get together and find some academic transformation plan to present to the board or the community. It was the right thing to do for the right time. We could have simply said, let's continue as we are. Let's stay on our incremental rate of progress, and we hope that someday, in some way, we may be able to accomplish our goals. So the question that was placed to us is, what shall we do? And we decided that the action to take was to present a bold, aggressive, revolutionary program of ideas meant to transform every single child in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. And so, thus, we have created and presented to the community the Academic Transformation Plan. Those goals are very clear, and I want to share them with you this afternoon. We've been saying to our community that it's important that all of our students are ready to graduate and compete for jobs in the 21st century. The current graduation rate of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District is 54%. That means that for a little over half of our students, they have the opportunity now to access higher education and to engage in career and technical training. But for thousands and thousands of other students, that opportunity does not exist. And for America to remain a strong nation in the world, graduating students from public schools, their matriculation into colleges and universities and trade and career programs is essential to the overall success of our nation and reliance upon the students that we serve. We've been saying for some time that that graduation rate is simply not enough. Now, you need to know that there are thousands of students in our district that are having absolutely fabulous experiences every single day. Yes, we're sending students to MIT, or being admitted to MIT and being admitted to Harvard and Yale and all of the East Coast Ivy League schools. They're being admitted to Cleveland State University and Case Western Reserve. And many of them are having absolutely fabulous experiences. But the question is not so much about those students that are having those fabulous experiences, but about the thousands of students who are not having those experiences. The question today, ladies and gentlemen, is what shall we do? The Academic Transformation Plan is designed to offer every single student an aggressive set of instructional programs and activities to drive their success one by one. We also believe that it's important to provide quality schools in every single neighborhood so that family has choices. We discovered in our work that there were pockets and neighborhoods in our community where if a parent wanted to select a school that was in continuous improvement or above, from elementary to high school, they would not be able to do so. Let me say that again. There are pockets of schools in our community where if a parent wanted to select a continuous improvement rated school or higher, they would have to move out of their neighborhood to attend a continuous improvement school or higher. We feel that that's immoral. We think that's wrong. We think that parents and students should all have high quality school choices in every single neighborhood. You should not have to take several buses and get up at 5 o'clock a.m. in the morning in order to attend a high achieving school in Cleveland, Ohio. We also believe that one of the clear goals of the transformation plan is around accountability. What I've learned the time I've been in Cleveland, this going into my 5th year, is that everybody that talks about taking action don't really mean that they want to take action. What I've learned this last 5 years in Cleveland is that talk is cheap and that action is what's really required to make a difference in our community. So when we start talking about holding everyone accountable for success, it means just that. Every single educator, every teacher, every principal, every bus driver, a person who prepares the food, who cleans the building, all 8,000 of us must be held accountable for the success of our students. And what it ultimately means, ladies and gentlemen, is that we have to tie our performance to our evaluation. In other words, the success of what we do and how we do it must be tied to how we are evaluated by our supervisors, by the board, and ultimately by the community. Part of the transformation plan's work is to recruit, support, and retain high-quality principals and teachers right here in Cleveland. To expand on what's working for students, be bold in our rethinking, and change what's not working. Perhaps one of the greatest challenges is for us to accept and acknowledge what's not working in our system, and to be bold enough and brave enough and sincere enough to make the change. We must also take strong efforts to attract and retain students and families right here in Cleveland, Ohio. And finally, a major goal of the transformation plan was to right-size the district by eliminating excess capacity and addressing overcrowding and ensuring effective use of resources. Perhaps one of the most difficult things that a CEO has to do in the course of their work is to sit or stand before a group of community members to tell them that we have to consider closing a school. But that's the action that the board took. That's the leadership that the mayor provided in our conversations this spring, because we are committed to making the right economic decisions for our community and addressing the issues in a significant and dynamic way. So you asked the question, what is the transformation plan really all about? And what is the district really trying to accomplish in its work? Over the next 5 years, our district is committed to making dramatic and significant improvement in the academic performance of students here in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Our commitment is that over the next 5 years, we will take our graduation rate from our current percentage of 54% and secure a designation of 90% over the next 5 years. That means constant, committed, and dedicated work to making a difference in the lives of all of our children, not just when they get to high school, but at the beginning of their academic experience. It means that in the next 5 years, 100% of our schools in the district will at least be in continuous improvement, and that half of our schools will be rated as effective or excellent. Let me say that again. The transformation plan has made it very clear that school by school, room by room, and student by student, that over the next 5 years, our commitment and our goal, and a very public goal, is that 100% of our schools will be in continuous improvement, and that half of our schools will be rated as effective or excellent. Now that deserves a round of applause. The academic transformation plan is the most significant and important work that this district has seen in some decades. We also believe that transformation requires a dynamic labor management relationship that will be praised nationally, but not so much from a national perspective, but about the working relationship that we must all have to advance the cause of the work of our children. It also means that we should have a culture that embraces change and reform, and that we will do whatever it takes to ensure that particular success. It's important, ladies and gentlemen, as we embark upon this century, this next decade of our century, that we acknowledge and accept the things that have not gone well, and to make a bold and aggressive set of strategies to move us in the right direction. Now, in order for us to become a transformed district and a transformed community, it also means that there are other elements of transformation that we must address in some significant way as well. School funding is one of them. Cleveland and other cities across the nation are struggling to balance our books. In Cleveland, Ohio, we've only passed three operating levies in the last 30 years. Imagine an organization where you're still operating off a set of revenue that's been maintained consistent for the last 14 or 15 years. This year, your Cleveland Metropolitan School District and our district embraced and addressed a $52 million deficit. We did that successfully by closing a number of schools that were either underperforming or underutilized in terms of student enrollment, and we made tough, difficult decisions and worked collaboratively with our labor unions, who also acknowledge and understand the importance of serving students in our community. It's time that we step forward and begin to have tough conversations about how we address the financial future of our district.